Dead Cells is an amazing game, and my new standard for roguelikes overall. And here's why. To start off, just really enjoy playing this fucking game. This game is great and has amazing attributes to it as a whole. So when I usually rate the games that I'm playing as I'm playing them, I usually pay attention to 5 basic things. I pay attention to the content that they have, the gameplay they offer, the aesthetic style that they show, the stability and quality overall for the game, and then my overall enjoyment. And for that, I gave overall enjoyment a 20% because I fucking love this game. And that is more of a subjective view of the game. But on the other 4, I'll tell you why. So overall content, I gave this around a 16 because the game offers a variety of things. It offers about 30 to 40 hours of overall content. There's over 70 enemy types to encounter, with 50 items and equipment that you can use that changes your the play style of the game throughout the game. Although you do not start with all of them. You start with a basic sword and a basic shield, and through the playing of the game, through the story and the advancement into the roguelike, you earn more and more. And you can choose to upgrade them as you will, and as a roguelike, you always restart with nothing. And there are many different levels of maps. I want to say there's about 15 that I alone have experienced, and they are every level, even though it is always the same theme per level, they are procedurally generated, so you will most likely not experience the same exact level design in each encounter. And throughout those levels, you have the 70 different enemy types that you can come encounter based on the theme of that level, with differencing from range, close, teleporting, and blunt attack style, slow and fast. They also range from theme and color and sound to mechanics, lava pools, poison pools, elevators, locked doors that you need to find keys for, gaps that you need to avoid, or you might fall down while fighting enemies. You have to go far, you have to go high or low. There's many areas to explore in these maps, and there are most likely, depending if you're going to speedrun or explore everything, it will take some time to explore everything in the game and will challenge you. For gameplay, this game is a roguelike that challenges the player with fast-paced technical combat. Movement and combat style will change for the player, as I said earlier, with the different weapons that you gain, as well as different, I don't know exactly what they're called, but they're like artifacts. They change whether you can use teleporters, you can grip to walls, double jumps, and so on. The aesthetic style of this game is pixelated around, I don't know exactly the term, I would guess 32-bit graphics, 32-bit aesthetic pixel art. But that doesn't seem to take away from the beauty of what they've done with the world in this game. Its animations, its flows, even though it's pixel art, it flows amazingly smooth. All the enemies have dynamic movements. They will walk and undulate and move while they're in idle when you're not in combat with them. Your character's movements are smooth, fluid. Particle effects are there. It's all just pixelated, and it is brought together by this amazing compounding of colors and aesthetics that also coincides with their audio design. The audio design is absolutely amazing in this game. The backing track to all of the levels changes and intensifies with each battle, depending on whether you have enemies near you or not. If you're in battle with an enemy, it'll be high, and as soon as you leave a battle with an enemy, it won't just cut out and stop. It will gradually ascend to a calmer space, almost as scoring for an action movie, and it fully follows what you're doing, as well as the audio design for movements, doors, and there's creaks when you walk over wood, there's slams when you kick through doors, there's really tight tension pulls on bows when you pull them back, and one of my overall favorites is the frying pan. When you get the frying pan weapon, there are 2 different, I'll spoil that for you. There's a heavy frying pan and then a dual, like, nunchuck style frying pans. But they're one of my favorite audios designs for in this game, because it really feels like you're hitting somebody with a frying pan. You can either do a lot of damage, and it sounds like metal is hitting somebody's head, and it's one of the most satisfying sounds in the game, in my opinion, and that's why I give this area is such a high score. For stability and quality, overall it's a pretty easy game to run. It's low, as like I said, it's pixel art. There's a lot of procedurally generated worlds, but it doesn't take a whole lot to generate that. This game can be played on the Switch and PC. I mostly played it on the PC off the Xbox launcher. I ran it perfectly, no stuttering, no crashing. It's absolutely perfect. From what I understand, there are no issues with stability and everything. Quality-wise, everything is built that it works. Everything works perfectly fine, and I gave this a 17 because of the fact that everything works, but it's so low taxing that it almost is a given that it should work. But it still works as intended, and an amazing product all around. I gave that a 17. And then that would be it. So total score of content coming around at 16, gameplay coming out at 20, aesthetic style coming out at 17, stability and quality coming out at 17, and overall enjoyment coming out a solid 20. I give this game a 90, an overall score of 90. I think this is a really well-made, excellent game, and is definitely something you should pick up if you are interested in either roguelikes or side-scrollers.